Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road, and you're ready to go if you want to. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast, Festival Edition, pumpkin patches across America. Today we're with Maria Bledsoe. She is with the Skinny Bones Pumpkin Patch. I love the name. Congratulations on that. Give us a little background on you, your family, and talk a little bit about your career.
Yeah, so I was raised in Ralston, Nebraska, never on a farm, but we always had horses, so kind of had that ag background. Married my husband and ended up having 5 children that are now adults. But basically, we moved to the rural community of Blair, Nebraska, just about 10 miles outside of Omaha. I've always been more business savvy, and my husband's more the artsy side, the visionary. And so we bought a property on the highway. It was really bad shape, kind of, fixer-upper type. And my vision was it was going to be a rental property, cute little farmhouse on it, outbuildings, that sort. And as soon as we walked in the driveway, he's like, this is going to be a pumpkin patch. Back then, we never farmed. We never had a garden, nothing, just raising 5 little kids. And I called him, he was crazy. I said, you're crazy. I do not vision this. He's like, the highway frontage, it's nice flat ground for pumpkins. But going back when he was about 7, 8 years old, instead of having a lemonade stand, he had a pumpkin stand just in his backyard. So basically he grew up. So it was basically bringing back his childhood memories when he was little. And his passion was always growing pumpkins, see who could get the biggest pumpkin of the neighborhood.
Right.
So our kids were junior high and high school and elementary age. So he's like, now's a chance. Let's get the free labor before they move out of the house and let's go for it. So first couple of years we did roadside stand, just selling pumpkins out of his old beater pickup, bed of his truck. They sold. So we just kind of tested the market. And then after a couple of years doing that, we went full force, got permits and everything, came up with the business name and researched corn mazes, put up a small corn maze, and the rest is history.
Very good. All right. To the listener that's never been to your pumpkin patch, 3 questions that help people get to know it. What does it look like? What does it smell like, meaning foods? What does it sound like, meaning activities and things going on?
Yeah, great questions. Well, first, this wasn't a question that you asked, but Skinny Bones, the name, is one of our children's childhood nicknames. When we went into this business, agribusiness, we wanted something portraying Halloween, something fun, not bloody gory. We're not into that aspect of it.
Right.
We wanted the family friendly, and that's a vision that we have for it going forward. So as far as like the sounds and everything, Skinny Bones is just a fun, quirky name. It's just something that catches your attention, but it also kind of represents like skeleton, or something like that. When you think of a pumpkin patch, you automatically think of fall fun, the outdoor smell. Myself going back, childhood memories, just, having horses and that, the smell of alfalfa in the fields, the corn, all of that country air. But also food. We're big time foodies. We love to eat in our family. Kettle corn, caramel apples, all of that fun stuff, homemade fudge. So all of the fun, fall foods. In 2017, we did expand quite a bit. We added a brand new commercial restaurant, put up a nice all wood barn. We wanted to keep with that old fashioned, non-commercial feel. So we really invested, our life savings in that building, and it's paid off. It's called Emmy's Food Barn. So we do take a lot of our kids' nicknames and names and just portray them into various attractions. Our corn maze is JJ's Corn Maze after our son Jared, and he's our only son. And then we have Jeffy's Pumpkin Patch, which of course is my husband, and Emmy's Food Barn. So Haley Boo's Petting Zoo. And so we do, take the names into new attractions.
It's fantastic. This obviously means a lot to you. Let's spin this a little bit. Let's talk about how you and your husband complement each other. He saw the vision. You kind of have the business savvy mind of how to make it work. How How did that come together? Not just particular this instance, but in other instances of your life. Like, was it like that from the beginning?
Yeah, so great, again, great question. So we've been married 38 years. I feel we complement each other very well. He's very tall, 6'5". I'm 5'4". We've been nicknamed Mutt and Jeff. My nickname as well is Mutton, but so I've just always been business savvy, even as a child, and he's always been the creator. A little bit of history: he had his own mechanic shop for 32 years in Omaha. So when we first started this agri business, he would drive back and forth to Omaha every day to maintain his real income, which is an auto mechanic shop. 2 years ago, we closed that down, sold the building, and he just went and did this full time. So that was always his dream, to be able to farm full time. But we need a little bit more income than just farming, and that's where this comes into play. As far as my end, I do all the payroll and all the, paying checks, bills, all of that. I look at costs for, items, see if it's worth it or not, what our expected costs are and what our revenue will be. So, we do complement each other on that. I'm not, artistic as far as I can't paint, I can't create anything. And that's kind of a family joke because I'm just not artsy.
Yep.
But actually, all of our kids do have that. And so they've definitely, inherited that from their father.
Very good. Very good. Okay. If you had to pick one thing from your pumpkin patch that you really felt like makes it stand out, what's the one thing?
So our corn maze, we have about 10 to 15 acre corn maze. When we went into this, because this is our 16th year for our season, when we went into this, we wanted to be known as the best corn maze in Nebraska. So our corn maze has wider pathways and also more paths in between the rows. We do not hire a GPS company to come out and design it. All the corn mazes in our area do that. But what we want to do is we want to be known as something different. So when you're on a corn maze, you will definitely get lost, because that's what a maze is for. But the problem with a lot of the maze companies will design the rows close so you can see the next row of people right next to you. Ours, you can't see them. It's more like a rainforest. It's more lush. So you're going to hear them, but you can't see them. So our pathways are a lot wider in between, and it holds up longer that way too. And then we also use twice the amount of seed in there to make it closer rows as well. In fact, a lot of the farmers were calling us up saying, "What are you doing? You just planted that," because they could tell the difference.
Right.
But we invested not for the yield, but we invested for the outcome of the better maize.
Very good. Very good. All right. Great answer. Two questions that I always ask every interview, because I am in live music and live entertainment. I just survey. So I simply want to know, what's the best concert you've ever seen in your life?
Oh gosh, don't do that to me.
I have to.
Don't do that to me. I'm not a concert going person. So I listen to a lot of Christian music.
Yep.
So, years ago I went to Amy Grant and that, but I haven't been to an actual concert in years. So if you ask my kids, my daughter went to Taylor Swift. Of course, she loved Taylor Swift, but that's a no brainer for that.
But I'm just asking you.
Yeah, I like Christian music. So anything that's kind of like a switch over, anything like that. We also like country.
So have you seen King of Country?
Yes.
What'd you think of that show?
Yeah, that was very good.
Compare it to Mercy Me. Were they better than Mercy Me?
Oh gosh, you're hitting me on the spot. I'm not.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So I've got
Lauren
Daigle and Brandon Lake is on my next Christian concert list. So
Okay.
looking forward to that one for sure.
Awesome.
Okay, let me ask you a different question then. Dead or alive, you could bring any concert to the farm. Who would you bring?
Well, should I say you?
Well, you could say me if you wanted to, but like if that's who you want to bring, great.
No.
I'm just saying, dead or
Yeah.
alive, money's not an issue. You could bring anybody you wanted to your pumpkin patch. Who would you bring?
Yeah, I would hold a big music festival, not just one, but I would want to do a big music festival.
Yeah,
Hold like 5 or 6 different artists in that.
for sure.
We run our farm, our mission statement is faith, family, fun.
Mhm.
So I'd like to have, a good faith-based group and hold just a whole around about 5 or 6 different ones.
For sure. Very good. How do people find out more about your pumpkin patch?
Yeah, so if you go to our website is skinnybonespumpkinpatch.com. You can click on there, and there's a contact page for email if you have any questions as well. But we love this opportunity to talk to you and let people know there's a lot of different fun venues out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. Thank you for being on.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking.
You bet. Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road. Are you ready to go if you want to?